What is up, guys? Welcome to another Amazon FBA happy hour. We got Cody does Amazon in the house. Cody's a beast. I met him about 3 years ago. He actually did me a real solid. I made a bet with my YouTube audience that if I don't find $1,000 worth of OA products, I was gonna give someone $1,000. He basically DM'd me like, "You are crazy. Let's hop on the phone, and I will help you buy that $1,000." And he kind of taught me TA, and I bought my first products off of some of the searches. So super grateful for him. Thanks for being here.
Man, I'm excited. I'm a little nervous to be on here with you guys. I've been watching your stuff. I'm really impressed with what you got going on. So,
Well, thanks. No, we're a pleasure to have you here. You want to give everyone a little background about yourself, kind of how you came to get here?
yeah, absolutely. So we started back in 2017. Gary Vaynerchuk had I was working in insurance happily. That was what I thought what I was going to do in my life. And one of my mentors, actually my boss, came to me with a Gary Vaynerchuk video. Never heard of the guy before, and was like, watch this motivation stuff, to like rah, it's a sales team environment. And I watched it, and then there was this little clip at the end of the Gary V video where he said, and if you're doing the 2017 flip challenge where you sell XYZ amount of stuff online, I think they were talking about some of the stuff you used to do, John, where you picked up free local furniture and sold it, and I was like, that's interesting. And so I just started binge watching his content and realized that there are people out here like doing this, and making a real living out of it. And so, long story short, we started selling stuff on Facebook, and we started with gym equipment. We had a lot of success selling gym equipment, and just out of my garage. And then we flipped 17 like 7-foot pallets of return stuff back to back to back. We flipped 17 of them onto eBay. And then some of the stuff was scanning better on Amazon, and then it's all downhill from there. We found Amazon and just kind of been running with it. So
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, the whole flipping, I still sometimes get the inkling to be like, ooh, like, because I didn't see it on Facebook. We recently just moved into a new place, and like knowing what I know, like we still have to get like rid of stuff. Like it's just like we're busy, like there's just no time, and it's just like, you know what, like it just has to go. And like we're just like, hey, whoever wants this, we donated it. Like thrift stores are like super like kind of annoying, right? They're like, yeah, we don't take this, we take that. It's just like, what the hell is going on? Like I thought you guys took everything.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely interesting to kind of. I do wonder, like, too. I think that's such like I know you were doing it. I don't know if you actually did. You were doing like the flip $1,000 thing, weren't you?
Yeah, we basically ran out of money with Amazon. We just kind of put a bunch of money into it, and we had a stretch where we just didn't have any cash. And so I was like, I'm gonna flip some stuff. I'm gonna go back to what we done in the beginning, and made some pretty good content. It was fun. I enjoyed that. And then inevitably Amazon payment hits. I actually don't think I finished the challenge again when we started it the second time, because I just got busy. I think we started chasing some bolo or something, and back to the Amazon ground. But I mean, I was gonna say this too. We found a kid locally that we just gave a bunch of stuff to and told him, look, I know for sure because I sourced this. If you put this on eBay or just list it on Facebook, you can sell it and make a profit. And just kind of passing it on a little bit to to the next, like I found this cool thing, you should do this. And and he's doing it. He's listing stuff, and he's got an Amazon account, and anybody could do what we're doing. Like it's not it's not complicated. Or I guess maybe it's a little complicated, but it's simple. Like it's not like you need a degree or something crazy. Like anybody, if they're willing to work at it, can do what my wife and I are doing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because I already remember like I had to like totally mess backwards because I would go to like thrift stores, kind of like what Gary was saying, like buying like stuffed animals and stuff. And I was like, oh, like I remember buying like these plates and glasses, and I was like, oh, they're like $2 for like 8 plates, like someone paid $20 for these. Like, this is so easy. Like, I think I ended up selling them for like $5 like 3 months later. And I was just like, I don't know what it was. It just clicked like that furniture. I was like, this is interesting. Like, I think I just moved into a new apartment and I was like poor back then. And I was like, damn, this stuff's expensive. And I was like shopping at Target. And I was like, oh man. And then I think I saw like a table that I paid on Target brand new for $40, our marketplace for like $40. I was like, huh, this is interesting. And my first thought was like, oh, maybe I can make it, assemble it, and sell it for more.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, let me just see what else is out there. And then I found like a pair of chairs and like negotiated down for like $10 and like sold it for 40 and it's like hooked.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. It's a different kind of money. Like even I've been selling like returns for Amazon on Facebook Marketplace instead of like going through the whole eBay process. It's just easier. You don't have to worry about shipping. And it's just like, ooh, man, that feels so good. Like the cash like hitting your hand. And it's just like, wow, this is like so much different. And like every once in a while I get the inkling to just kind of like go back and do it.
Amazon doesn't hold it for 6 months. Doesn't hold your money for 6 months.
Future Finish it was a fan. Wow.
Yeah,
you guys have any questions for Cody? Definitely drop them in the chat. So what does your business look like now? And kind of what are you up to?
We basically just we're still, arbitrage monkeys. We just chase whatever whatever is the top of the list. And someone said what's your percentage OA and RA at? It just depends. Like I wish I was cool, like one of the cool Instagram kids that is OA to prep 100%. The last 2 months, that maybe 6 weeks, 2 months, something like that. We've been heavy RA and just chasing, and it's not even really like when I say bolo, like used to when I say bolo, it's like the hottest toy or whatever. Now it's just it's just kind of like boring grocery stuff. Like it's not even really that exciting. You just can't get it online, and so we just kind of found our place in the market, and so it's just however many of XYZ items we can get, so we're having success with that right now. And then we're building OA too. I made some content that I was gonna get into wholesale, and I just haven't really. Michaela came in and talked to my Discord about wholesale, and I actually got several accounts. We looked through the catalogs and just haven't really made a serious order with anybody yet. So
I was going to ask you about that. See if you had made any progress. Anything good?
We've definitely made progress. I've learned a lot, but we don't have like a ton of capital and a ton of credit that that we put out there for the business, and so arbitrage makes sense. You spend $100, you get 160 back. That makes sense that makes a lot of sense for us, and so we're just kind of grinding arbitrage still. So
interesting. What tips would you have for someone doing like, so for me, like every once in a while I'm kind of the opposite. I have no desire to get into wholesale, but like I follow like Alexa and Steve and like Sarah and you, and I'm like every once in a while I'm like, maybe I should, like, so we're in a good area to do kind of like RA. And I'm just like, every time I go to the store, like I don't have service, or I'm just like, oh, this is so dumb. Like, what are you doing? Or like I'll buy something, get home, and it's like not profitable anymore because like I don't know, for whatever reason, like I scanned the wrong thing. Like, what would you say to someone who maybe is like wants to supplement OA for RA? So I feel like it's like turning around. Like it used to be so cool to be a bookseller, and then like you go into bulk, and then if you make it, you go into wholesale. It's like no one wants to be a bookseller anymore. Bulk is for like the big people. Everyone wants to do OA and wholesale. And now it's like if you make it there, like maybe you make it to private label.
I think that's spot on. Yeah. It's funny how we all kind of understand what's cool and what's I think RA is there's such a moat around having to drive to a store and get 8 units of a thing and then, you know, like having the systems to drive to multiple stores and get 8 units of whatever thing, you know, it could you scale it to, you know, millions? I think so, yeah. I mean, there are people doing it. You know, you talk to, who is that couple that, oh, maybe it was the other Alexa, maybe that's
Yeah, and
yeah,
Steve.
yeah, they're killing it, you know, and when I listened to that interview, I was so excited because I was like, yeah, you know, you're restoring the reputation of us RA people that are, you know, like we're not just, you know, side hustlers or whatever, you know, we're not just Instacart people, you know, like there's a real business there. So advice I would give, don't stop doing what's working for you. And so if OA is, you know, your bread and butter and you're making money, you know, continue to put, you know, your time and energy towards that. Get good at that. But you know, I think a place for RA that a lot of people don't talk about is in those beginning stages where you're you know, starting with 1,000 or 2,000 bucks or whatever. People used to say, I used to say, you should just go headlong into books. And you know, books is a cool thing. You know, I think it's a great opportunity, but you don't want to break your back and like do a lot of
Sweat, fight with people.
yeah, the labor involved in books is as someone who has a failed bulk book operation, you know, I can tell you the labor is just it's irrational almost, like, it's crazy. So,
Yeah.
instead, take that $2,000 and go to Dollar General, go to, Family Dollar, go to these places and, look for replenishable, like, opportunities. So, look for the candy or the, whatever flavor of Cheez-Its or whatever, you know, that thing, and then, just get hooked on the ROI. Look at the ROI, you know, a lot, more than anything else, and so, what opportunities can I spend $1 and get $1.60 or $1.80 back? You're only making 60 or 80 cents, right? Well, kind of, but once that sells through, you have the data that that's a good product, and so then that goes to the top of your list, and you know to keep that in stock just like a soldier, keep that in stock, and then you just, you know, repeat that process. Find the number 2 item that you're gonna keep in stock that's making you 60% ROI, and then the number 3 item, the number 4, and blah, 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 and then all of a sudden, you're gonna come across something that's 220% ROI. You're spending $1, you're getting, you know, that crazy, you know, multiple back. Well, that's your number 1 product now, and you keep it in stock like a soldier. You know, you like, and I think you can turn 1,000, 2,000 bucks into, you know, 10, 20 grand relatively quickly, you know, if you manage those systems well.
Interesting.
I have a question
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, go ahead.
So can you explain a little bit about the process of like RA? Because like we don't really have we had anybody that really does a lot of RA?
Stephen
Yeah.
Alexa. Actually
And-
saw Alexa today. They will come on. I don't know when, but yeah, you're the
Definitely.
first RA guy.
Okay, so can you just like kind of explain how it works doing RA? Because obviously both of us don't have the background in RA, kind of like your day-to-day, kind of how you source and like do you do I don't know, like I don't even know how to ask this, but like basically how do you just like take a certain, say you find a certain product or whatever, do you just go and like ransack all the local area like Walmarts or whatever? Like how is your like what's your strategy, I guess, basically for RA?
Yeah, that's a great question. Used to when you say I didn't realize this, when you say RA, a lot of people think that RA is just outlets and shoes. You know, a lot of people that say I do RA, they just do Nike, you know, you know, and I think that's a cool business. Like that's totally scalable, and you know, it's a real cool model. There are definitely opportunities in every Nike outlet everywhere that you can go in and, you know, and do that and have a great business. What my wife and I do, we're real heavy on grocery and, you know, expiration, anything with an expiration date, we like that. And so, you know, what we try to do is find an anchor product, you know, that number 1 or, you know, in the top 10, you know, something that is good. I want to be excited about it. If I find it, I want to, you know, I want to be excited about, you know, the opportunity to buy it. And then it's just, you know, you make a route of however many of those you can find that, you know, that pays for your day. That's what you're, you know, out doing. And then while you're out looking for that product, use your spidey senses, look at the shelves to the left, the shelves to the right, look at, you know, the seasonal opportunities, look at, what else might be there. you're already paid to be in the store for getting that anchor product. What else can you find? And then if you're at, XYZ grocery store, local grocery stores, it's huge. I think it's closer to wholesale than OA is, because a local grocery store that has 37 chains, they have a distributor or a direct relationship with somebody, and then you're just one middleman away from that wholesaler. And so, I have access to stuff that you can't get on Walmart.com. And for that reason, it's not going to tank as aggressively. But then you look at I'm in that store. What store is next to that store? And then I'm in a bunch of groups. I think that paying to be a part of like lead groups and list and people that are competent. It's worth a lot of money. And so being in those rooms and then create chats with buddies that are doing the same thing. They're looking at what you're looking at, and then their spidey senses kind of say, well, maybe I should scan this, and you would have never looked at it. And and then you share that info. And so or a bundle. Like right before we got on this call, I got a message from someone that I'm in a group chat with, and she said, hey, I don't have this store, but you do. And it's a bundle of 3 grocery products that looks promising. And so I may go buy a bunch today. And and that's kind of it's just making systems for the RA instead of sitting at a laptop.
So how long do you spend in like a store per se, like before you move on to the next one?
I'm not real proud of my time management.
I feel like you aren't until you find like that killer thing. Like I felt that with books. It's like you wasted all this time until you find that like $80 profit textbook. You're like, this wasn't such a waste of time, or like whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you walk out without it, you're like, yeah, this is a giant waste of time.
Yeah, for sure. The longer you stay in a store, if you're smart, the more stuff you'll find. It's amazing to me. Like I have 6 kids, and my wife is we're busy people. Sometimes she'll have something, and I'll just have extra time where I have to be in a store longer or something, something like that. It amazes me if I'm in the store and I'm there longer, I'm looking around, like I'll find so many more things. The more you look, the more you'll find. Like there's opportunity in every category and every every little place inside the stores. And so how long do I stay in store? It super depends. I get super all over the place. Sometimes a long time. Jameson Philippi, he talks about in the early days he would spend 8-10 hours in a Walmart scanning every single item. I've never spent that long, so I don't know if I'm cool if he is.
He said he used to write it down in like a notebook too, like
exactly,
and stuff like that. I was like, damn.
But the one that I don't know if you guys have seen my Instagram content, but we've done several trips. This past week I had a lady from church drive literally 12 hours, and I paid her very well. Everyone should know that. But she drove 12 hours, and it's an opportunity where you go in one store, pick up 2 items, and you're in and out in like 3 minutes. And it's just a bunch of those stores. And so I paid a lady to do that in this one little place, and then where I live, and then I did it at the city above where she was, and we got like 700-800 units that day. Doing that. I worked like 14 hours that day, and so I was telling my grandpa about the opportunity. It was like, does Amazon pay your gas? So, not really.
No. The good old gas and internet question. Like, what about internet? What about gas? What about
what about taxes? And then he's like, well, do they give you any money if the customer doesn't buy the product? I'm like, no. Well, do they pay shipping to Amazon? No. And then he's like, well, this sounds terrible. I'm like, yeah, but and so,
that's funny.
It works for us.
That's crazy.
Bottom line makes sense for my wife and I. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do sometimes miss kind of like the book days, because like I just have these routes, and like you get out of the house, like you see some other people, you like see some bozos out there that like you're like, oh, like it's just funny. Like you have a story to tell. Like, like you're sitting at your computer, like like you text back and forth, or you're on Instagram, and like networking with people, but like it's just different being out there. And like every once in a while, I'm just like, maybe I should give like OA a go, or RA a go, and just kind of see how it goes.
It's pumpkin spice season. You got to be out doing RA. You got to be out looking for, whatever bolo, and I would absolutely miss RA if it's on my, I hired I don't know if you know Eli, Instant Eli, or no, Eli Happy Life. That's his name on Instagram.
Yeah, we talk every other Saturday. Me and him.
Oh, good idea. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He's helping me with some of the stuff in my Discord, and then I hired him as a business coach, life coach kind of thing. And so I written down some goals, and one of them was eventually I want to have an OA to prep operation where primarily we're OA to prep. If I ever if I ever really hit that goal, I think I'll miss RA. I'll miss some of the grinding in the trenches and the chasing down whatever XYZ thing. So
yeah, let's see what we got here. What's going on, Heather?
Hey, Heather.
Yeah.
If you don't follow Heather Scott, she's single-handedly made me more money this year than anybody ever has on Instagram. That is one of the coolest people on Instagram. Ashley Hudson.
Are you on Walmart yet?
I am on Walmart. Cody does Walmart. Yep. I don't love Walmart. It's a hassle and it's a real headache, but profit margins are very good, and there's opportunity opportunity on there like there was on Amazon 10 years ago. Like you can go on there and legitimately, like there's like tens of thousands of products that you could go on there. If you buy it for 30, if you sold it on Amazon, you have to sell it for $54.99 or something. On Walmart, you could probably get like $79.99 or $89.99, like crazy margins. And so nobody knows what's selling. There's no Keepa. It's the Wild West, but it's a good it's a good opportunity for somebody who wants to really tackle it.
So how do you figure that out then? Like are you kind of looking at the price on Amazon and see like Walmart has it for like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to get it at Walmart and flip it on Amazon, but like maybe if you bought on Amazon or Walmart, it makes sense? Or how does that work?
So the number one thing I look at is does it have reviews? If it has reviews on Walmart, that's a good indicator that it's selling through. Same way on Amazon. There's no BSR, so you can't really judge it that way. There's a software called Data Spark that gives you kind of a rank, but in my experience, it seems all made up. Like I didn't see any real rhyme or reason, and hopefully they're not watching.
You're saying like everyone's like, what's the main software? Everyone's like Keepa. You're like, nah, it ain't Data Spark. I don't know what it is.
Right.
Yeah. It's not Data Spark. Sorry, Data Spark.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. But for real, we use Keepa. We source for Amazon, and then we look at the inventory that we've bought. Does it make sense to cross list? And if it makes sense to cross list, then it takes our risk down on buying more of that product. And so that's kind of been our strategy. But I mean, somebody could make a killing if they wanted to put their attention to this. Go on to Keepa Deals, look at lowest price ever on Amazon, and then everything that is the lowest price ever that day, look and see if it's a 3x multiple on Walmart. So Amazon to Walmart flip, ton of opportunity there, because Amazon just willy-nilly, they'll just mark crap down, and it doesn't like literally like a $30 item, they'll mark it down to $6.99. And that's good for an Amazon to Amazon flip maybe, but with there's so little competition on Walmart, you would be the only offer on Walmart, and so I think there's an opportunity there.
So do you compete against like Walmart or no?
No, I look for out of stock opportunities. So
Okay.
yeah, I wouldn't compete with Walmart, and I also wouldn't compete with WFS sellers. So people that are sending it into like what FBA is.
Okay.
Walmart calls it WFS. I don't compete with them. In my experience, if they send it into Walmart, they get the buy box. No questions asked. So.
Got it. Okay. That's interesting because like that's used to be how like Amazon worked. It was like, Oh man, if you just send it like for books, you could have like a $2 merch fulfilled book. You could list that thing for like $20, $30. You'd or it'd be like $80. Like you get the buy box, like
Yep.
and like that
Beautiful.
offer would be like buried. Like that $2 offer. Now it's like who knows what's going on. I have so many listings now that like they took the buy box away, or like it's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
That's so yeah. I don't know. I know nothing about so are you fulfilling it yourself then for Walmart?
Almost everything we've done so far, we've fulfilled ourselves. So me and Heather Scott have a goal this month to get a mixed Walmart fulfilled or whatever WFS stands for, WFS shipment sent out of mixed products. So I sent in a couple, but it was all the same item, and so that it was kind of simple. But I haven't figured out how to do it really where you send it in. So almost everything we've done has been just merchant fulfilled.
So I guess that's I guess you haven't done it yet, but would it be like the same? You put like a sticker on it and like weigh the box, all that kind of stuff.
Pretty much, I think that's the gist of it. But I can't get like literally. It's like imagine like the old black screens where you had to like hit tab and move crap over on like the DOS system. That's how it feels. It's so outdated, and I just haven't forced myself to sit down and figure it out yet. So that's I see the opportunity. If Amazon inevitably, or whatever, if they shut me down or something happens, if something like that happens overnight, I would become a super focused Walmart seller, and that would be that'd be how I'd make a living. Would be just grinding Walmart. Like it's a huge opportunity. I just think Amazon's better.
Interesting. So you don't have to reveal if you don't want to, but like where are you sourcing to sell on Walmart? Is it mostly Amazon, or like it's the same principles, like going to Dollar General and all that kind of stuff, and then selling there?
Yeah. Let's see. Let me think back. The last few things I've sold on, I'll tell you what, the majority of the stuff I've sold on Walmart is from Sam's Club. There's it seems like everything inside of Sam's Club has a Walmart listing that's already established and doing well. And then the rest of what I've sold on Walmart has been Bolo type items that we find for Amazon that we just cross list. So it's all over the place. They're you could go if you went to a local grocery store. I bet you could find a ton of stuff where you're in that $5 to $10 buy range, 24 to 35, $25 to $35 resale. I bet there's a ton of stuff that Walmart could do well on. There's another lady. I wish I remember her name. Hustle Mommy something. I'll try to look it up later. She does Walmart and she makes content about her sourcing. And she's drop shipping basically. She just listed a bunch of stuff in her grocery store, and when it sells, she goes and picks it up and is
it Emily?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Is it Crazy Flipping Mom?
Crazy Flipping Mom. Yeah.
She did the conference. Yeah.
I really
you said that. Like I've been watching her like stories, and I was like, grocery store. Like that sounds so familiar. And I was like, let me take that in real quick. But Emily, we should have her on.
That's a smart idea. If I had more time or better systems, you could do really well doing doing what she's doing. It's just the headache of a one-off order. We're just slightly busy enough to where it doesn't make sense. But if we were a little bit less busy, we'd probably have to throw that in too.
Yeah, let's see. I started my shipment today, but it's been a little confusing. How Walmart can be.
Yep.
I have to say, like Walmart, I don't buy a ton there, but they are one of the easiest sites to like buy from. Like if they screw up, like a return, like they just give you the money back. Like you don't even have to ship it. It's just absolutely insane. And I actually know someone who is pretty high up there, who's like a family kind of like friend or whatever. And he's like, they're like so focused on that, like the whole third party thing. And it's just a huge like thing for them. And I'm just like, it's crazy. And like, he's like, they have a love hate for resellers. Like they love the business that like they get, but like, it's also a big, ginormous pain for them.
Right.
I do think they have a huge opportunity. Like I've definitely ordered some stuff from Walmart. Comes same day sometimes. Like it obviously will depend on where you're from because they're doing a lot of like delivery from store.
Right.
But I mean, for holidays, man, last year was great. You're ordering all these Legos and stuff. Like they're coming like within 5 or 6 hours. Get that out the same day. Like just flip it around real quick. So yeah. Did you hear about the Packy Chip? Or I don't know how you said it.
Mhm.
Did you buy any?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm in a group chat and we were talking about it. My girlfriend actually told me about it. She's like, "Oh, someone died. Like eating the chip." I was like, "Oh, damn!" Like, and then she's like, "I wonder if they'll like take it away." I'm like, I doubt it. And then sure enough, like they recall them all. And then today I get an email. I didn't buy it. I wasn't allowed to buy any. I was like super pissed. Like they gated me. I was gated last year, and then like I'm in this group chat. They're like, they're out. And I'm just like, all right, like, cool, let's buy these. And then they're like, yeah, you can't sell them. And the other two are allowed to. So I was like, all right. But now I'm like happy I don't have 1,000 of them sitting around.
You should be. That's a crappy feeling. And I just happened to send some in FBA. They never processed. It's how close. If I had sneezed, I would have not sent the shipment in before they nuked the listing. But it's literally en route, and so it's literally gonna get paid to ship there, and then have removal fees to send every unit back in a little broken bag. And there's nothing they can do about it. So,
do you think Walmart will allow you to sell them?
I haven't checked. I wonder. eBay. Rumor is eBay took down listings this morning. And
they did that. They sent that in the group text today. They're like, yeah, eBay is.
Let's check Walmart. I wonder. Walmart might be our saving grace. If it is.
I mean, it's just crazy to think because like stuff like this happens. There's going to be a huge demand for them, and it's like I don't even know. I could see Facebook Marketplace being like, yeah, no, you can't do that either. Walmart now.
No listing on Walmart. It is completely taken down. But an opportunity, that might come up from this. They're getting a ton of publicity. First thing I think is find a platform that you can sell it on, and it might still be good. Second thing I think is what are their number? Do what, Michaela?
Sell them on
Facebook.
Facebook Marketplace.
I'd say Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. I could see them shutting it down. I like was saying to Kate today, I was just like, the only platform I think would allow it if Facebook doesn't would be Twitter.
Sell it on Twitter.
Nice. How much is a box regular?
I think they're
$9.99. Oh, okay.
I know someone sitting on a lot.
I do too. A lot.
Which is
like 5 figures. And units.
Yeah.
5 figures worth of chips?
Yeah.
No. 5 figures worth of units of chips. Like legitimately. It's sad. It's a sad day for some people. It's real sad.
You're gonna have to go. What?
It's a lot of chips.
Well, here's the other thing. This could go another direction. What if they give a credit for everyone you bought? So what if you're able to claim something? Hey, I was thinking about dying from your chip unless you refund me, and then they get 10,000 units worth of a refund. That could happen too. That's a possibility.
I do wonder too, like, so a lot of these like the secret, you can't sell them anyway, so it doesn't matter. So like a lot of these were bought on Amazon. So like I wonder if you could do like you would kill your business account most likely. Like you bought thousands from them, but then it's like, well, Amazon, you sold a chip that I could die eating.
Right.
Like, shouldn't they have to take it back? Like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah. What I was going to say a second ago, they're getting a lot of publicity. It really might be profitable to run a brand search on Packy and see, because all those eyeballs are going and searching Packy. What is the other Packy SKU that just jumped up and started selling? I bet there is one. I bet there, something that, I bet there's another Packy chip that just started, getting some attention.
Oh, that's a really big call.
The person that has the 10,000 boxes of chips, you tell them to eat one and then sue them.
Not really sure.
You get your money back.
I think that's crazy.
There could be a black market for these things. Like if they never
these
make
people will be selling out of trunks. They're gonna
if they never make another one again, and given what we know about discontinued items, could we be selling black market Packy Chips for $99.99 at the end of this year when eBay decides to let us back on?
Well, I was talking to someone today. I was like, "This could be the return of Craigslist." Because like Craigslist was there, and like this would like bring back Craigslist like forever. Like, only place you can buy. You'd be buying Packy Chips from someone you don't know what they look like out of the trunk of their car.
Yeah, you just go in the back of the dark alley, and they open their trunk up. How many would you want?
Or you got flea market. You could do flea market probably.
Yeah, that's where they'll end up.
Open a store.
That's it's just crazy to think. I was in a YouTube video today. Like, I feel really bad for me. I just don't like to buy and hold anything. Yeah. Like, last year, I only bought, like, 40 of them. I was like, oh, my God. And everyone I was talking to, like, just hold out. Like, it's going to be fine. Like, sure enough, it was fine. I think and, like, the problem with that is it's, like, I don't know. I feel like the Packy Chips, like, a bad business decision just on paper based on ROI, but it's just fun to do. Because it's like, oh, this Packy Chip and, like, I don't know, what do you make, like $2-3 a unit at the end of the day? Which is like great if you have a lot of them, but it's more like for fun and like, it's not going to be your go-to staple. It's just like, I'm part of this craze, like part of the supply chain.
Yeah. I hate it that some kid died. Like that sounds terrible. Like I really like that's awful. But I think there's a version of this where it could play out where they settle with that family or something happens and then everybody goes back to normal and they're like, you know what? We like Packy Chips again, and we're gonna put them back on. I don't think it's I don't think it has to be a permanent thing. Like it takes one thing to happen, and we could all be a-okay.
Another thing, the chips supposedly, from what I've read, I'm not very like well versed in this, but like supposedly that wasn't the determining factor yet of the death. So I don't know if they're still investigating it or whatever. Seems like this was like precautionary. But I could also see the opposite where, like, I was like, I still don't want to take that chance.
Right. Yeah.
Like, appreciate it, but, like, no, we're good. But, that's crazy.
I'm a little over $1,000 deep on them. And so it hurts. Like, it's not a, happy thing, but it's also not crashing the plane either. And I think as an arbitrage seller, you have to be able to, allocate the risk enough to where one product can't sink your whole business. And so I hope that the people that went deep they have the pockets to where that. But I mean, if I had $30,000 worth of freaking chips and then one product went like I would be distraught. I would be in a mess. So
no, that's a really good point too. Like this happened to me like the last 60 days where I did a really good job of like finding these like unique opportunities with like no sales rank, like Amazon's on the listing, like, but they share and like all this stuff. And then I did the test buy process. It's like 10, 20, like 30. And then it was like time to go big. And I'm like, well, let's do it. Let's go 50, 60. And then like everyone else caught on. So on like these listings, like they could only really support like 3 or 4 people. So now there's like 20 people on there and like you can't even liquidate. Amazon's like dropping their price. And it was like, I'm fine. But like the lesson was like 60, 70% of the business was like top heavy in this stuff. Like it should have really been like 10%. Yeah. And like I actually made a whole YouTube video on this today. And it was just like, for those kind of things, I'm just going to go 20, 20, and just let it die. If it dies, if it keeps going with 20, like that's great too. But just that protection. And then there's another thing I bought. And I was like, this is a sure thing. I'm going to ship it myself. It's going to get checked in. It's like an FC transfer. It just came out of FC transfer. And there's like 30 more sellers on it. I'm like, screw it. I'm dumping it. Like, I'm making like, I was supposed to make like $15 on these. I'm making like $2. But it's like, there's like 60, 70 sellers on this right now. Like, I'm not holding all this inventory to hopefully probably break even like 2 months from now where I'm like, I don't want to hold this anymore. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna take the $3.
Yeah,
Be
yeah.
like, this is a great situation. Like, it sucks, but like, you're gonna come out of it okay. And I think that was also a stupid move. Like, I thought like, oh, this is such a sure thing, but like nothing is.
Yeah.
Because I've sold it in the past, and I'm just like, oh man, I know exactly how this operates. And then like, I guess everyone else caught on or hit a leads list, and then
Yeah.
luckily I know I'm just like, I gotta cut it, because if I didn't know about this product, like, yeah, I'll wait it out. But I'm like, nah, the $2 is like much better now than like what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a scaredy cat too. If I have a couple $100,000 to throw around in the future, maybe I'll be less of a scaredy cat. But now it's like, yeah, in that situation, you know, I'm not gonna tank it. Like, I'm not gonna gap it down or penny drop it, but I'm gonna sell it through. You know, number of sellers just doubled. I'm out. I got other crap to do with my money. So, you know,
In Aura, I just set it to like, it might be like 5% ROI or something like that. Like 5. I didn't like tank it, and I was like, I don't want to break even.
Yeah.
Because so like, for those who don't know, when you like kind of go about dumping something, you really run the risk of like the price going much lower than that.
Right. Yeah.
You never want to dump at break even. I mean, if you really have to, yes. But like, you want to start dumping. It's funny, I started dumping at a certain price, and then it jumped up like $3 or $4. So like, all right, that's the new stopping point. So I actually raised the price like $2. I don't know if they're selling. But let me actually see. This has been a crazy day. Has your sales been like crazy today?
Mine, about average. Let's see.
I'm like at $3,300. It's like
crazy. Are you still doing like apparel and clothing and shoes? Oh, okay.
I dumped apparel and shoes. What's up, Romer?
All right.
Founder of Miami Seller Conference in the house. Go-to lister. Yeah. Are you heavy in apparel?
What'd you say?
Are you still heavy in apparel?
No, I've never been.
Or you do shoes, right?
We did shoes for a while because I got into the Heat Seekers wave with them, and you know, I did a bunch of shoes for a while, and you know, we do some. I got some in the background here. You can see in the back, but our bread and butter is grocery and boring stuff. What we're good at is stuff with an expiration date. So that's you know, that's what my wife and I our heavy focus is on, grocery, you know, boring grocery type stuff. So.
Yeah, I've really switched focus too to like a certain category, let's just say. It's like one of those that can't get returned. And like,
yes,
this is a new category. I've made some mistakes, let's just say, and bought the wrong thing. And like the comment is just like, yeah, like you sent the wrong thing and I can't return it. I'm like, like I'd send a refund anyway. But like, it was like, this is kind of nice. Like, because like, it's like, oh, like I don't want it. Like I'm gonna refuse it, or the mail lost it. It's like, nah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I shared my seller board thing. I haven't shared numbers or anything like that in like a long time, but I shared my seller board sales, and I shared it shows the returns next to it, and I was like, you know, I'm sad about the 2 returns or whatever that it showed, and I got a bunch of messages from people that are like, my returns say like 20 or 30, and yours say 2. And it's because people don't freaking return dog food or, you know, freaking, you know, like whatever grocery product, you know, like they just don't. Nobody gives a crap. Like, they're like, yeah, overpaid. Some guy got, you know, some profit, but whatever. Like, and in a lot of cases, they can't return it at all. And so, you know, that great category, super underrated because of the returns.
Yeah, no, I really like that. And like, yeah, it's definitely something. I've definitely had like good luck with that stuff. I've like come to the conclusion that what I learned from this whole like being top heavy on these like unique kind of listings is that like there's no good liquidation plan for them, because like you kind of have to sit on them. Like you can't even like I've lowered it to like $3 or $5 loss. It doesn't move. Like it just doesn't move because for whatever reason, like there's the buy box lost or whatever. So it's like super tough to kind of navigate that. So like on these other products, I'm just like, you know what? Like I'm like kind of somewhat deep on this one thing, but it's like it sells so quick. And it's like if I had to bring this down to break even, they'd be gone. like tomorrow. So I'm like trying to find more listings like that. I mean, obviously they're harder to find, but like they're definitely out there. And you know Duke does Amazon?
Yeah, I love Duke does Amazon. I love his content. A lot of my stuff is it's just me sitting there just cheering for all the stuff he posts.
Yeah, so we've been like talking a lot, and like the whole idea, like he's really got me into like this like higher ROI kind of stuff. Like, no, like start at 40%.
Yeah.
And like I've been on some stuff where like that has tanked, and I'm like making like 20% ROI. I'm like, oh, okay, like this is where it's at. Like, I've been getting murdered on like, oh, do 20% on volume. Like, absolutely murdered on all of that stuff. But this like high 30, 40% kind of stuff, it's like, ooh, like this is where it's at. Like, I love this kind of stuff. And it's out there. It's definitely harder to find, but I think like I really just like that kind of like idea and mindset. If you could find it.
I mean, here's the thing. If you're hunting, right, like just hunt for the better game, right? Like if you're an arbitrage seller and it really doesn't matter and you really don't have to niche down and you can really just sell whatever, then just sell the better stuff. Like, like just look for the better, the better flips. I think, I've seen some of Duke's stuff that he shared, that I think is just genius. And the Keepa, we had him in my Discord to show what he's doing with Keepa Product Finder. And it's just like wizardry stuff. Like you can go in if you zoom in far enough, like there's a lot of really, really good opportunities in that 40 to 60% ROI or way better. Some of them are way better, like I said earlier, like a 200% ROI, and they're real opportunities. You just have to, be smart enough to find them and then be able to, actually source them. So.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Yeah, because some of the stuff I've seen, it's just like kind of crazy. There's so much opportunity on there, and like a lot of people are complaining that a lot of people are giving like stuff away, like keep a product finder on Twitter and YouTube and all this stuff. And it's like I don't worry about keep a product finder ever. Like I used to worry about making a YouTube video about it because everyone would like complain or whatever. But I've come to realize like the whole keep a product finder actually comes down to like, no offense, we don't do this a lot, but like actually thinking. Like have to be like, listen, like, type in pumpkin spice. You're just not going through these listings like, oh, pumpkin spice. Let me see if I can find it. You're like, no, like pumpkin spice. Like I gotta find the time where like this would sell. And like there's so much to manipulate that like we could all open keep a product finder right now and know exactly how to find whatever we're looking for. And like Michaela would start somewhere, you'd start somewhere, I'd start, and like there'll probably be no crossover whatsoever. Like it's just, and it's not a lazy person's game. Like you actually have to think through it, sift through it, like find your triggers. Like, so I kind of really like that. It's like, like give all the stuff away because like 90% of the people aren't going to do that. They're just going to keep reverse sourcing, which is fine. But I do think there's so much opportunity to kind of do that.
Totally agree. And, by the way, keep a product finder. That's just to get to your list. Half of those people, more than half of those people are not even going to work the list. They're going to look at the top 3, best selling things. And then they're going to realize, oh, I can't sell those. I can't find those. And then they're going to give up and go look for the next thing. And so, yeah, totally agree. It's a lot of work to go through a full hour of, really doing keep a product finder right.
Yeah, Chris Grant's course on it. I think it's called Keep Academy. I actually bought that, and a lot of people say, "Oh, why are you buying a course?" Like, because I need to like brush up on this. Like, I know how to use it, but like not as granular as like he goes into it. And I was just like, I literally watched, and that's like what people I feel like don't understand. Like, I literally watched a 20-minute video, and I was like, oh man, like I never thought about this, and like I gotta like apply it to everything that I'm doing currently. And just that one, I haven't watched another video since because I'm like just like doing this one thing, and I'm like, oh man, like what a game changer that like
that one
just
little
to know, like, one tidbit. I would have never came across that like in YouTube world or even been looking for it. Like you usually find what you're looking for on YouTube.
Yeah.
You don't usually just like stumble across like some random video like, oh, I think I'm gonna watch this.
you're on my close friends stories, and I had this moment where I realized something that I could do with Keeper Product Finder, and I was just like blown away, and I
Yeah,
do
I did
like
see that.
2 long things on, and to be able to do some of that, it's like, oh, just think a little bit more critically about how all this works. Like the data is out there, like it's fish in a barrel in some situations, and so um, you said that about the course thing that, oh, you bought a course, like throw money at courses. Like if you're really talking about, Romer's on here, he said, before all this stuff happened, his account, he's making 25 grand profit a month. Like if it's
Yeah.
really that big of an opportunity, then throw $197 at a course. And if you
Yeah.
learn one little thing that helps you get to these crazy results that people are, actually having, like, it's
Yeah, I'll put a
totally.
link in the description if anyone
I
wants to
haven't
check it
taken
out.
that one, but I'll
It's
buy
it's
anything.
insane. It
Yeah,
is like
anything he puts out, I love it.
so good. I can't explain how much I like that one.
I've been through the OA challenge 3 times.
OA challenge is nuts.
Yeah. I anything he puts out, I'm a huge fanboy. So
Same. What's up with it? What's going on, Michael? New seller has onboard our top listing and pricing at 17 when the product has been selling consistently over a month. For 27, is new seller trying to come in as a threat to monopolize? Whew. I don't know. It really depends. Sometimes depends on what you're on. If it's a grocery product, it could be a wholesaler. I remember talking to a wholesaler. It was Holden Hustles on that interviews somewhere on this channel, and he was like, "Yeah, if someone comes on my listing, I just drop it at a $5 loss. And then when they leave the listing, yeah, I just go back to normal. So it could be something like that. I don't know. Look at it historically. Sometimes those people, I would look at their review count. If it's like 0 to like 10, they're probably a new seller, and it's probably like a repricing thing on their end. Also, it just depends on what it is. They might have just got it at Walmart clearance, and they're making 30% at $17, and that's kind of what they want to do with it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
You have to remember, everybody has probably a slightly different buy cost. I mean, some people are going to have the same depending on where you shop at, but somebody may have a super low buy cost, and you're like, like, I don't know how they got that, but they know, they may know people, they may know different stores that sell it, their different coupons or whatever discounts that they use. So that's like the biggest pet peeve about people saying people tank prices. And I'm like, well, everybody has a different buy cost. So just because your buy cost is, say it's like $5 and their buy cost is $2, it's gonna make a lot of difference. Maybe they're happy with taking 30% instead of 60% or whatever.
yeah, I would say just stay in stock at your price. Get they haven't tanked it yet. Maybe today the price is 17, but maybe they wake up and realize, oh crap, I'm a dummy and I need to, or maybe there are 2 key sticks on their computer and they accidentally hit 1.7 instead of 2.7. I'd give it some time before. Don't match them or like jump ship or anything too fast. Maybe even 30 days. Give them some time to see what they do. And you might still be selling through. I have a I don't know what it is. It's a grocery product that somebody was in stock for a small and light program. They were selling it $12. We put it in stock at $19.99, and we sell through at $19.99 with them in stock at $12. And so I mean, may not matter at all depending on VB says it's the top listing. Yes, I mean it probably matters to you. So that sucks, but maybe not. Time will tell.
Also, though, it could be like you could look at it right now, and it could be at 27. Like if you have if someone has a repricer on, like it could just be bouncing around there. Yeah, it just really depends. And yeah, I think Cody brings up a really good point. Like I'm on stuff where I'm winning the buy box. Like in one case, it's $10 more than the lowest seller. I mean, it's $5 higher than the FBA and $10 higher than the MF. So obviously that's a little different, but still $5 higher than FBA. And It's just rotating. Amazon likes, if you've been in stock longer than this person, Amazon will probably favor you. I mean, we don't know for sure. There's no like documentation on this, but from a prior experience, like the longer you are on there, the more stock you have. Typically, they will rotate you more because they know like you're reliable, you're not getting returns, like you're legit. This other person, they don't really know. You could also, I don't know if I said this, but like you could look at their stock. If they have like one or two, like I wouldn't even worry about it because they're going to be gone in, I don't know, a day or two, depending on how quickly it sells. So I wouldn't really worry about it.
Yeah. You might get worried if you look at it and you realize it's a wholesaler and they are testing, 100 units or 200 units or something like that, because what that means is they might be coming in stock with 2,000 units next week. So all data is important. Make a note of it for sure. Before you go in and go deep on this product next month. Maybe just remember in the back of your head, hey, there was this wholesaler that was testing the price at 17. They come in and eat my lunch. Like all data is worth looking at. So
yeah, you want to talk about, you actually had like a really interesting, I really liked your, I think it was an Instagram story where you talked about replans versus finding new products. You want to give some insight on that? I go both ways, and I'll say what I think after you go. But yeah, I had like a big revelation after watching that yesterday. I think I saw it, and like go at the gym. I was thinking like, okay, I get it. Like I have a whole.
Yeah, I take pre-workout whenever I do jiu-jitsu, and I had this idea for this video, and I got out, and you're in there just like trying to tear somebody's head off, and they're trying to tear your head off, and so I'm in my car, I'm driving, and I was like, I'm gonna record this video right now, and so I just started recording and post it. But the gist of it is, don't let your best products go to zero. Like don't go out of stock on your best products. And if you're using all your time that you could be using to guard that and make sure that you don't go out of stock, if you're using that time to go look for new products, then you just, you're just running in circles. Like to any other legitimate business, if it's an ice cream store and they sell 80%, chocolate or whatever, they're not just going to go out of stock on chocolate looking for the next flavor, and so that video was more to me than anybody else because there's a product that I'm selling that I went out of stock on that I was mad at myself because I didn't catch it, and I realized it's now got a week and a half of time that I could have been getting those sales every day, and I didn't just because of logistics and bad time management. So
yeah, no, that's a really good point, and I've really thought about that a lot. And on one hand, like I was saying, one of my issues with kind of like being top heavy on those like unique listings was I went way too heavy on them.
Yeah,
like took it the opposite way, but like I was like in some of the stuff I'm on just moves really quick. And I was like, those are the ones to kind of double down on that. And me and Michaela did like I don't know, one of those boot camps that Romer does. And Tyler Jones like said like an ASIN's like a kid, like a brand new kid, and like you gotta like take care of it. Like you don't know like how it's gonna be or how it's gonna act. So, but like if you have like your kid, like you kind of know how it like behaves, like how everything works. It's just much easier to manage than like taking on something you have no idea what's going to happen. Like, and like that's just kind of like the whole Amazon thing. And I think staying in stock is definitely, it's a tricky game. I also have like a thought too. It's like the longer you're on a product, almost kind of the more risk you're at. Just kind of like from my last experience, just because like if you're doubling and tripling down on something, like someone else is eventually going to catch it. Now, if you're doing like a regional replan or something, it's obviously, yes, it's a little more safer. But some of the stuff I was on, I'm like, damn, like Amazon did not carry the buy box through and give me the rotation at the price that I wanted. Like, even though I was on it, and I like didn't catch it, and now I'm as deep as ever because like I was like, oh, this is gonna keep going forever. So I think like just kind of like keep an eye on that. But like if you can find something and like keep it in stock, I'm on some things now where sometimes I'll break even on it just to stay in, and like all the other knuckleheads drop off, and then it's like right back up to like $5 or $10 profit. And it's
Same.
like, you know what? I'll like stick, or sometimes I'll just stay at my price and just take 1 to like 5% buy box rotation instead of like the normal, I don't know, 15%.
Yeah.
And just kind of weed it out. I've definitely seen that like really benefit in the past. And there's some stuff now that like I'm kind of on for Q4 because I'm just
Mhm.
like, you know what? Just keep like feeding a little bit because I know these are going to be monster products in Q4. I
Mhm.
want to be like ready to go on the buy box.
Yeah.
I started Keep Academy today. That was awesome. Yeah, Keep Academy. Can't speak highly enough of it. What's up, Deal Man? Very interesting and helpful. Cool. Thanks for your answer. Yes, I do think that $17 seller is a wholesaler, and so are we. Okay. May need to reconsider lower profit in this case. Yeah, that's always tough, but it's always hard too, like because obviously we're always like trying. Obviously, it's great to go in on like your replans, but then when
Mhm.
it goes away, you need some other guys that you've been testing kind of to be in the wins to kind of carry it along.
Yeah. Your literal job is just to find the best products that make sense to, fill the market. So, there's a delicate balance between being faithful with the few and, like just doing a really good job on the ones that are worth, replenishing, and then, being ambitious and being a go-getter and finding your next ASIN or your next dozen ASINs. And, that's a time management, capital, management thing, and that's different with everybody. So.
How do you manage your replans? Like, this is a huge headache for me. Like, I'm like almost checking every day. Like, I'll scroll my phone to see what sold yesterday, and then like go into Seller Central, check the SKU. It's like how much is here, and it's like,
Yeah.
oof. And then you're like, oh, it's not that much, and you go to Inventory Labs and you realize like you have double the inventory what Amazon's saying. So it's like it's just such a mess, and it's like, I'm sure there's a way to set up like alerts, but then it's like that whole in transit / not there
Yeah.
/ FC transfer is so confusing.
And then it's also, it's an opinion too. How many should you buy? It's an opinion. And so, we looked at what Amazon was telling us to replenish on the dashboard, like in the actual Seller Central, and then we looked at what Seller Board was telling us to replenish, and it's different numbers. They're not. It's like it's completely different, based on different data, based on different whatever. And so our goal is to stay 2 to 4 weeks in stock. Again, if I had an extra 100,000-200,000 laying around, it may be different, but for us, that's where we try to land is 2 to 4 weeks in stock. And past that, we're kind of just winging it. I wish I had a better answer, but we use Seller Board, and we look at what's so I look at the report every day, what sold, what's how many we have, how much it's asking for, and then we just kind of try to do our best to get to the best products. And so inevitably we miss stuff every time we source, every time we do a shipment, but yeah, we're just kind of winging it. That's the answer.
Yeah, no, that's kind of how I'm doing it too. I'm really
Yeah.
going by like I try to look at like the 30-day and the 90-day and see if it adds up. Like, is the 30-day like 3 times the 90-day, or like kind of how that? Obviously, it's not always accurate because like there's just different things going on. I'm more
Mhm.
concerned about like is the seller count going up too. I'm really looking at that, and then yeah, there's just some stuff. It's just like. Oof, it's scary to like pull the trigger because like Amazon's like, yeah, send 150 of these.
Right.
Seller Board's like, yeah, send 1,000. You're like,
Right.
huh, okay, like, yeah, like, and then there's like an Amazon recommendation by dashboard right now. They're like, oh, if you send like 100 of these, like, we'll give you 25-cent fee discount,
Right.
and the thing is tanked, and you're like,
I bet
like,
you.
what are
Yeah.
you talking about? Like, that makes no sense, like whatsoever.
Yeah, I'll say this too about Seller Board though. They've been pretty spot on. I mean, I trust Seller. If Seller Board tells me something, I'm interested in hearing, what it says. We had a product that we were sending in like 6 at a time. They'd sell through. We'd send in 6 more. They'd sell through, and then inevitably there's this long time where you're out of stock. And seller board, I think it said to replenish like 220 of them or something like that. And so we didn't do that, but we sent a bunch. I think we sent like 90, and they sold through. And it's all that time that you're out of stock, there's still people clicking on it and buying through. And so it was a drastic change from doing the 6 at a time to go into, that big scary 90 number. And I can't help but to wonder if we send in 200, well, I mean, we're actively still sending it in, but if we send in more, would it sell through? And so I like seller board numbers.
Yeah, seller board is great, and there's a video on the channel, like their head of product came on, and
Oh,
he
really?
gave like this crazy tutorial. It was like an hour and a half, just like walking through everything and kind of how to set it up.
Nice. I need to watch. I'm not using anything except for like 2 tabs on on seller board.
I love it for the monthly forecast.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like one of those things too. You bring up like a good point, because it is really hard to, like you say, you send 6 in, it's like you're 4 weeks out, like ideally from the next set of sales, depending on FC transfers and all that kind of stuff. But like, yeah, like it's gonna take a while to like get all your stuff. I've also noticed sometimes too, when you like load up on something, you get a lot more FC transfers. If I went deep on something that usually just goes to one fulfillment house and stays there, it's split to like, not split, but it was transferred to like 20 different ones.
Right.
But like it screwed up my whole like kind of thought process of like how this was going to go.
Right.
And I was just like, oh man, like I didn't really think about that. But yeah, it's always, like this seller board's telling me order 200 of these.
Nice.
We'll see.
There's
I was on that like 120. But it's like it's hard because the site is kind of a pain in the butt. So I gotta tread carefully, I guess. But yeah, it's always hard to kind of judge this stuff. And I feel like that's like kind of like, if I could say anything, I don't know if you'd agree, but it's like, it's all about just like, that's kind of what my Instagram is. It's like experiment. It's just an experiment. Like there's no, something that's like working really well today, like probably not going to work like a month from now. And like some of these like keep a charts, like the only way to tell if it sells is to actually like get on it.
Yeah.
See if you win or lose or break even or learn. But yeah, it's just really hard.
Yeah. I would say, to add to that, I would say your personal data, like the data that you get from your actual sales and your actual inventory, is so vital. And I didn't realize that for a long time until someone pointed it out to me. But it doesn't matter what Keepa says. If Keepa says, or Seller Amp, people say Seller Amp says it sells 11,000 times, a month. I was like, that's great, kid. But like, what matters is how many times did you sell it when you were in stock, and that number is super powerful. Like being able to leverage on that number is, like that's business changing. Like that can change the whole trajectory of your business if you just pay attention to those, the actual data that is true because it's under the roof of your operation.
Yeah, agreed. And yeah, I feel like that is like a huge thing, because I'm on something that Seller Amp says, and Seller Amp's a great tool. Like we're not knocking them or whatever. It says it sells about like 12 a month, and I sold 12 yesterday. So it just really depends. Yeah. We got one more question here, then we'll kind of wrap it up. Besides Google, are there any other ways to find the product you found on Keepa? Any other ways to find the product?
Did I say that, or did you say that? I don't remember.
I don't know. Are you talking about like just doing a Google search? So you find something on Keepa, like, are you saying is there another way besides just a Google search to find it?
He might be talking about what I said with the Keeper product finder earlier.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Other way beside Google, you could reverse source it.
Sure.
That's.
Oh,
But I mean,
okay.
at that point, you're just kind of shooting in the dark. Like, I think when it comes to sourcing, finding a strategy that you can get a little bit better at every day is more important than any. Like, don't worry what everybody else is selling. Like the marketplace is so huge and there's so many opportunities in every category. Figure out which way that you're, wanting to do every day and get a little bit better at. Like there's lots and lots and lots of ways to source, and and most of them are not reverse storefront stocking. Like not there's anything, no judgment. It's just there's lots of other ways to look at the data.
I guess another thing you could do is actually you could just put like you could literally type pumpkin spice into Amazon as like you were a consumer, and then you could see what pops up and kind of sort through that, and then try to find it. We'll make this the last question. What parrots does Michaela have?
It's a Jimmy Buffett hat. Oh, it's over. It's my Margaritaville hat.
Oh yeah,
Like he passed away.
Nice.
I feel like I haven't got to talk to Michaela at all. How's the house coming? How's everything going with the
I'm
real estate
tired,
stuff?
honestly. Yeah, it's coming. It's just a lot. I'm down there pretty much every day. I think I've only taken 2 days off in the last 6 weeks. So
that's awesome. I'm so excited for you. Watching the stuff, I'm like, my wife and I wanted to do real estate. Like we really, really had, intentions to, and then we just ended up not pulling the trigger. And then we bought our house at the perfect time before everything happened. So we're hoping at some point to leverage the equity to get into either flipping or doing something. But like watching your stuff, like I'm like, this is way better than Amazon content.
People probably get annoyed, but it's okay.
No, keep posting. It's amazing.
I like it. I mean, I like it. There's more to Amazon than just doing Amazon. So like that's a big thing that I'm like trying to show people. It's not just about selling on Amazon. Like it's about what after Amazon. I mean, unless you want to do Amazon forever, which is fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it's just like looking forward and figuring out what you want to do in the future, because personally I don't want to do Amazon forever. I just, I mean, I want passive income. So I want to build up my real estate and do long-term investing and have that so that I could do things that I like to do. So
yeah, that's amazing. I think when I started to get especially when I quit my job, the way I thought my career with Amazon would go is it would just be infinite scaling, just getting bigger and then bigger and bigger and bigger. And I look at other successful people that are doing what I'm doing, and what their path actually looks like is they scale, take money out, put it into something else, scale, take money out, and and that's so smart. I think that's I hope what you're doing, I hope to be doing in like 5 years, with
so I help you out. Just give me a holler and I'll help you out.
Work out all the kinks and figure out all the stuff not to do, and then you can put me down the road.
100%.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely like important, to definitely take money out and like kind of live a little, because anything could happen.
Yeah, Eli told me, I told you I hired him as my business life coach kind of thing. We need to figure out what we're gonna call that, but he the first thing he said was you're not maxing out your Roth IRA, and I was like, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about, like, tell me your number one supplier. And I didn't really say that, but kind of joking. But so we started our Roth IRA. My wife and I are starting. We've made it our goal to max out our Roth IRA, which is, I know what that is, and I know why it's important. It just hasn't been on the forefront, and so that's
That's one of the best things I've done. Is I started when I did the flipping, like, of furniture, and like my accountant was like, you should get a Roth, like you could do that now. And I was like, all right. He's like, just max it out. And he's like, when you quit your job, like make sure you continue to max it out. So it's like an automatic deposit, like right out every 2 weeks. Like, I don't know. He's like, you should like wait. And I was like, no, dude, like it's just gonna come out every 2 weeks, or like I'm never gonna do it. So it just comes out like every 2 weeks, and like it gets maxed out. I just did, I think the max like $6,000. I don't know. The $6,000 divided by, I don't know, not 52 divided by 2, so it's every 2 weeks. That's what gets pulled automatically. I don't have to worry about it. So yeah, there's just like stuff like that. And it's like, it's absolutely insane, like how a little bit of money grows really quickly. I mean, obviously there's been like, I don't know, people say there's good, I don't even know much about it. I just know that like it's in like a safe little fund that like grows every month. That's
Yeah.
just cool to see. So you guys see like what you put in and what it's worth now, and you're like, damn, like that's like pretty insane to think
Yep.
about. And, like,
Green part.
yeah, and there's nothing that like, yeah, it's just really crazy.
That's actually passive.
Yeah,
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
it is. But yeah, no, it's also, yeah, it's really exciting. And yeah, it's just opened my eyes up to like different opportunities and stuff like that, where it's just like, I love Amazon. Like, I always sell on Amazon, but like, I definitely want to do some other things.
Yeah. I don't want to always have to sell on Amazon. Like right now, I would get kicked out of my house if I didn't have profits from it, from what I'm doing. But one day I'd like to, to not have to, have it as, like a primary, job, kind of a primary active income. Not they don't want us to call it a job, but
it's a job though in some ways.
It's a job.
Talking about Duke, he had like a great post. He was just like, he did this YouTube video yesterday. I think it's in his go to Duke does Amazon on YouTube as the last video, and he was just basically like, it's a job, but it's also a business. It's like you're running a business, and like, yeah, you can do outsource to prep or whatever, but like it's still a job. Like you have to source. Like even if you have VAs, until you're like doing like multiple millions, like you're not having a VA review the VA's lead. Like you have to do that. Like you have to talk to Michaela's prep center and be like, why'd you lose all my stuff? Like you got to be doing that. Just kidding, Michaela. But yeah, there's like all sorts of stuff you got to do when it comes to that, and it's like, yeah, it's a business, but like it's also a job, and like, yeah, you can outsource eventually, but like just like anything else, like in a job, like you are doing the work, and then like maybe you become the manager. And someone else is doing what you're doing, but like you're kind of doing something else and like watching this person and like
you have to do something before you're not, you know what I mean, before you pull yourself out of it. So like you do have to go through the phases of having a job, because it really is a job. Like it's not a traditional job, but still a job.
Good job.
You get to that point where you can pull yourself out of it, then that's when it becomes, not as much of a job.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, and like it's kind of, but it's also like the best job because it's a job on your terms for the most part. Like last night we were watching something on Netflix and it was just like so good, and I was like, we stayed up till like 1 a.m. and it's like, well, woke up at 7 today. Usually wake up at 5, still sourced like what I needed to source, went to the gym, did all that stuff, and it's like, well, that's great, but like you can't, if I got to be at work at a certain amount of time, like this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll cut it there. Thank you so much for being here, Cody. Where can people find you? Plug your Discords. What is, me and Michaela spoke in one of them, so definitely plug that, because that one is like, Cody's giving that one away. It's like crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I think Eli said you up the price a little bit, and I was just like, it should be like triple that, but.
Yeah, it's Cody Does Amazon on all platforms. I have a leads group, and it's at our Bolo group, and then I have my passion project is Cody's Education Club. That's what John's talking about. I think forever it'll be $9 a month, or you can buy an annual membership. But my real passion is I want to help poor people and low income, low opportunity type people. And I want them to have access to that. And I just want to pour everything I know and all of my, experience into, just coaching and different things, in that Discord. And anybody could do what my wife and I are doing, and it's life-changing. It's and so I have family and different people, that I kind of, I'm just like, you want to shake them. It's like, just listen to me, just just start doing, like, this is an amazing thing. And but yeah, Cody Does Amazon on all platforms. And thank you for having me come on. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, they'll have to have you on again. We're like, finally, I don't know, it's just like, I don't know that we're 25 in, but it's like, yeah, we can start like having some repeat guests now. Like, it's like, now it's like we're going.
Love it.
Yeah, so have a great weekend, everyone. We will see you next week. Thanks again to Cody. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week. Peace.